no real risk here at this point in terms of the markets. Again, a healthy correction was needed as we've just come so far so quickly, really since November, without really much of a break along that way. We talked about buying stampedes the other day, and this buying stampede is very, very long in the tooth. Here's what you need to know before the bell this morning. Markets sold off, and it's funny this morning, the headlines everywhere, worst sell-off since September, right? We haven't had a down day in like weeks. So, a bit of a down day was not only not surprising yesterday, but long overdue. We've been talking about having a bit of a correction in the markets because we've gotten very, very overbought on a short-term basis. That occurred yesterday. Lots of, everybody was trying to figure it out. What caused it? There's no news out there. What caused this big sell-off? And sometimes you really don't need a reason. You just need somebody to go, I'm out. And then once somebody starts selling, then you get more people start selling, and then it kind of turns into a stampede for the day. So that's really kind of what happened. Market was up yesterday morning. Coming out of the gate, we were up for a couple hours. And then it was gone in 120 minutes as a little bit longer than the movie. But in 120 minutes, we wiped out an entire week's worth of gains. So, pretty impressive sell-off yesterday. We did bring down some of that overbought condition in the markets. Haven't triggered a sell signal yet from these very high levels, but we'll see what happens over the next day or so. We are, again, no real risk here at this point in terms of the markets. Again, a healthy correction was needed as we've just come so far so quickly, really since November, without really much of a break along that way. We talked about buying stampedes the other day. And this buying stampede is very, very long in the tooth. So again, a correction yesterday, not surprising this morning. Futures are looking to try to point up. That's also not surprising. We've got a lot of FOMO in the markets right now. So there's been a lot of people just kind of looking for any opportunity to try to put some money to work. So again, with that sell-off yesterday, not surprising, people are kind of jumping in this morning like, oh, this is my shot for the Santa Claus rally. I got to get some money to put to work. And so, again, that's not going to be really surprising. We're heading the last week of the year. You're going to have portfolio window dressing. So, yesterday may be a one-day decline. We may get a little bit of bounce today, say maybe some more sell-off potentially today or tomorrow as we head into the Christmas holiday. But, again, we do have that last 5 days of the year and the first 2 days of January right around the corner. Portfolio dressing for portfolio managers, rebalancing for the end of the year. So there is a potential that whatever little pullback we get momentarily is going to be short-lived until we get through the first couple of days of January. Then we'll figure out what happens from that point. But again, nothing really yesterday of consequence that sends off alarm bells. It was just a very much needed healthy correction in the markets. And again, one day doesn't really mean anything. But it was kind of interesting because there really was no news. It just kind of showed up out of nowhere and really sent, portfolio managers and the media and everybody else kind of scrambling to find a reason. But there was really no reason out there. If you wanted to point to a reason, maybe it was FedEx yesterday. FedEx had a very poor announcement, big hit to revenue. That stock was down 12%. So maybe you could say, well, it was FedEx and the markets figured out that maybe the economy is not as strong as expected. I wouldn't build too much into the FedEx story. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence elsewhere that the economy is doing just fine. This is probably something specific to FedEx, competition with Amazon and UPS, etc. So again, don't read too much into FedEx as the economic indicator that's telling us a recession is about to come. That's probably not the case, considering, again, what's happening with a lot of the other economic data. So again, probably just a short-term sell-off here. We'll see what happens. We'll keep you up to date, of course, as always. That's what you need to know before the bell this morning.